It's ChatGPT's first birthday. It's a running joke now on my interview shows that AI is only a year old. That's right, folks. ChatGPT just had its first birthday. November 30th, 2022 was when ChatGPT was finally released to the world. And for some reason, everybody believes that that was the start of AI. But that's not the start of AI. AI has been around forever. It's been around for 20, 40, 50 plus years. And people have been working on machine learning and designing things for all of this time. But only now, for some reason, because we have this easy-to-use tool that anybody can just pick up and use, there's this misconception, this preconception that AI was only born about a year ago. And I have this joke on my shows where people have been talking about how they've been in the business for 15, 20 years, and all of a sudden now it's a big thing. Well, they've been doing it for a long, long time. AI has been around for a long time. In fact, I was in another interview show where we were talking about how AI, some of the concepts behind AI, sort of like the concept, for example, the generative AI concept where it's almost like an autocorrect where you can take bits and pieces of phrases and put them back together in new ways, was actually done manually in the 1300s. It's been around for a the concepts inside of AI have been around for a really, really long time. Really long time. And that's why I think it's super important for us as human beings to envision a future, to actually come up with a future. Even if we have no possible way of building this future now, I think it's extremely important for us to envision a future, envision a positive future, and envision and write down that vision. Write that vision, put that vision on video, put that vision on a podcast, somehow record that vision so that, even put it in a patent if you want, put it in a patent, even better. Take that vision and put it down somewhere where even if you can't do anything with it right now, someone, somewhere, in some future can look at that vision and either build that vision or build something similar to that vision, right? Because if you think about it, think about things like something like Star Trek, which is envisioned in the 1960s. It was envisioned in the 1960s for the 2300s, 400 years later. And a lot of the things that occurred in Star Trek, all the things that were envisioned in Star Trek, and this is one of the things that wasn't really pushed too hard in the reboots of Star Trek, which I wish were pushed harder in the reboots of Star Trek, was the techno-optimistic vision of the future. Is that all of these devices and the computerization and the AI and the technology, etc., that was imagined in the 60s, that became a touchstone for people to use to imagine products later on in time. Looking back at that functionality, at the things that were happening in that show from the 60s and going, maybe we couldn't build that then, but maybe we can build it now. Or maybe we can build something like that now based on what's that. Like, for example, the Motorola StarTAC, which was the original flip phone, looked a lot like the original Star Trek communicator. Why would we come up with that flip phone concept if it wasn't for the original Star Trek communicator? Where is it? I think I have one even. I think I even have one here. The original Star Trek communicator, right? This is the origin of the flip phone. So Gene Roddenberry came up with this in the 60s, but the actual Star Trek flip phone wasn't invented until what, the 80s, the 90s? So what I'm saying to you is that we have a responsibility to envision an optimistic, positive future where technology is used for good. And we need to take that optimistic vision that we have built and get it out there. Write it down on paper, put it into a patent, put it on a video, get it on a podcast, record it, and get it out into the world. If you can't build it yourself, and in fact, this is what I'm thinking about doing in the next little while, is creating Startup Monday episodes where I've taken all of the ideas that I've come up with. Some of them are realistic, some of them are futuristic, and put them out there into the world so that someone somewhere can actually look at this thing and go, you know, That's not a bad idea. Maybe I can build something like that. Even if it's not built today. Even if it's built 10 years from now, 20 years from now, 100 years from now. Who knows what YouTube will be like in 100 years? The idea is out there. Optimistic, futuristic idea is out there for someone to look at and build upon and do something with. That's why I'm pushing really hard the optimistic ideas, the powerful, uplifting, humanistic ideas, things that will make our life better, not worse, right? We need to be able to do that. We need to be able to create technologies that will improve and uplift humanity. Every time we come up with an idea and we get it out there and we record it and put it out there, if we come up with a negative idea, somebody will build that. If we come up with a positive idea, somebody will build that. If we flood the internet with positive ideas, with things that will improve and uplift all of humanity, then they've got plenty to choose from. These future people who might want to tap us for some idea that they can implement. Like the StarTac, like anything that we've created before, let's come up with great ideas that can then be used at some point in the future, even if they can't be built today. That's it for me for today. See you next time, and until then, don't forget to think future.